All right, how you doing, Joe?
I'm doing good, Jimmy. How are you?
Good. Thank you so much for coming out to the Nobscot Cafe again on a Monday night.
Hey, happy to see you guys.
I see that the dad, he's now back again. This is good.
Yeah.
And we're not going to put Mark on, though, right? All right?
Not yet.
Fair enough.
Right.
So tonight's game, give us a little preview off the top of your head. I'm putting you on the spot here. Jets, Bears. Here, wait, I'll even give you a cheat sheet. Hang on, where's the cheat sheet? There it is. He doesn't need it? Okay, just in case you need it, it's right there. Tell us about tonight's game and how you see it.
All right, so we got the Chicago Bears, the New York Jets.
He got it so far.
I'm on a roll, people.
You're on a roll. All right.
So I basically don't need to tell about the Jets because we already had Nick DiMartino do that yesterday. But a little summary on the Jets. 1-1. They had the huge blunder last week against the Green Bay Packers when the offensive line coach called the timeout.
Morning week.
And if he did not call the timeout, it would have tied the game. But even Nick said himself, the Jets were not going to win that against the Packers. So that put them to 1-1. And then you got the Chicago Bears, who have a little bit of inconsistency. They lost to the Buffalo Bills to start, but they did win their next game. So it's pretty much an even matchup. Right now you're looking at the Chicago Bears offense against the New York Jets defense. The defensive line is very good. Secondary, probably average. And then you got Jay Cutler. Jay Cutler, great quarterback. He hasn't established himself as an elite quarterback just yet, but he's got weapons like Alshon Jeffrey and Brandon Marshall. We'll have to see how they do against, I would call it an average secondary of the Jets.
Pretty good right off the top of his head, don't you
I'm
think?
looking at the wide receivers and the fact that they're going against the secondary because I'm looking at what those wide receivers did to the 49ers last week, and they torched them. They took them apart.
Well, the best secondaries was the 49ers,
and
they were able to beat them.
They ate them alive. So I'm looking at Cutler going down the field, saying, "Look, guys, if we could do that, we came back against them." And sure, the defense made 2 interceptions because Kaepernick just turned the ball over he was horrible. But
Like a hot potato.
But it still boils down to the fact that the Bears' offense can be so good, they can scare you because they have the ability to go down the field and make big plays. I'm talking about Marshall made a couple of catches that were just unreal. Jeffries, we know, is a star. So you got both sides of the field that can get deep. And you still got Forte back there. Nobody even talks about him because he hasn't exploded yet. So I think the Bears are going to be all right. I do.
Yeah, like the Bears, it's very inconsistent. They can have a great game, but they can have a weak game. But if they establish their wide receivers, if they can go down the field and take advantage of the Jets secondary, they can get the win. And if you put Matt Forte and he has a great game against the Jets, you got both weapons there.
You got everything going. You have wide receivers and you have a running game. Now, how can the Jets win? Answer me that.
I think Geno Smith needs to have a good game. Geno definitely, we saw him improve at the end of last year and a little bit this year. That great pass before the blunder by the offensive line. He's established himself as a good quarterback for the Jets.
Young quarterback.
Yes,
young.
he needs to be on his
year.
game. And also, Chris Johnson needs to have one of his monster games like he did in Tennessee. The Jets haven't really established their running game as much against teams, but if they can do that, they'll definitely have a good chance.
Okay. It's all about the run and the offensive line. It always does come down to that.
But the Jets' offensive line has played fairly well because remember, they were moving the ball against Green Bay. They weren't having that much of a problem with Green Bay controlling the line of scrimmage. Their biggest problem were the mistakes they made because they kept turning the ball over and giving it back, and you can't keep putting the ball in Aaron Rodgers' hands that many times. But I'm still going to go back to, and I know you're laughing because I was laughing when that pass was caught and it said touchdown, and then I saw the referee do that. I said, "You've got to be kidding!" Have you remember seeing anything like that?
I haven't seen anything
I've
like that.
never seen. I'm thinking
I
of
said
all
the same thing
years.
with the butt fumble. Look what happened.
The famous butt fumble. But that one, remember, you tied the game. The Jets are jumping around. Yes, I'm in this game. I said, no, you're not in the game. And the win was out of the sales then. And if you looked at Ryan's face, Buddy Ryan said, "It wasn't me. I never called a timeout. I wasn't me." And he turned around, and so Morning Week's going, It's me.
No,
And
but
I'm
then
go-
Sheldon Richardson came over and confirmed the timeout,
Yeah.
which is
It's
even
much
more
worse.
surprising.
Right. He said, yeah, we call timeout. He said, are you crazy? Be quiet. Just go over there. Oh, man. And it's typical for the Jets and the follies that they put on sometime to me.
All right. Joey's got a fan out there.
Good.
I just want you to know.
All right.
All right. Why don't you do a shout out to Lauren, because she looked at you and said, "Oh my God, Joe grew up." Say hi to Lauren.
Hi, Lauren. Really miss
Yes,
you.
Lauren, he's grown up.
And we all grown up. Well, some of us have grown up, some have grown down. Anyway, Joe, thank you so much for that
Thank you,
preview. As
guys.
always, it's great. And
Pleasure, my
Tom,
man.
you can start preparing your Bruins preview now. Okay, and then I'll come to you in a few minutes. Okay, you ready for this? Oh yeah. All right. So thank you, Joe.
very much, guys.